Good morning, everybody. I'm Truth Light, and we are here to talk about fabulous, controversial, meaningful, spiritual, enlightening, and sometimes a little riling topics. Today, we're going to be talking about the media and your reality. And it's kind of, it was driven by some of the stuff going on in Sanford, Florida right now, because I have a lot of students there and people going through the Trayvon Martin. See, clearly I don't watch the news media, but there's a lot going on there that I'm working with energetically to help soothe them. And so I kind of started thinking, after looking at the movie things that are coming out and all of that, do we drive the media or does the media drive us? And so which is actually reality? You know, we're staying informed. I hear people say all the time that you have to stay informed, but don't you decide what you want to stay informed on, because you can't stay informed on everything. So clearly you choose. So we'll go into that a little bit more down the road. And first, I really have made it a thing that I'd like to start each show out with a morning meditation, because just like, you know, you need a good breakfast in the morning, so they say, and I feel like you need a good meditation in the morning. And so if you're in Arizona, it's still kind of early, and so this is a nice way to start your day. And if you're in the East Coast, you're probably just getting ready for lunch or something, and it's a nice way to continue your day. So we're going to go ahead and just do our morning meditation. It usually takes about 10 minutes or so, and if even that. And then if you have time to stay and listen, awesome. If you don't, you can head out the door to work or wherever, knowing you had a really good meditation. And so unless you're driving, then don't do the meditation with us. Just listen to the archives and do it when you get home or something. So, all right. So we're just going to take a nice, deep, relaxing breath. And we're going to calm down, and we're just going to sort of forget the outside world just for a few minutes. You know, it doesn't have to be for an hour. And we're going to just take some more nice, deep breaths. And as we do, we feel the breath going deeper and deeper until you feel it. It's almost like it goes down your chakra system rather than just into your lungs. And you can feel the energy of that breath go all the way down to your abdomen and all the way down to your root chakra. Just nice deep breaths in and out. And as we breathe, we feel ourselves become more aware of this center of our being. Ah, yes, this is called getting centered, because you're bringing your awareness to the center of your being, where all of your chakras live, the center of where your energy moves up and down. We just want to bring that awareness to our center. And we feel that whole line from our crown chakra and our soul star all the way down to our core chakra, our root chakra, and all the way down to our earth star, which is about 8 inches under your feet. A lot of people don't even know that you have a chakra there, but you do. So we're just going to bless all of these chakras as we feel that energy move through the center of our being. And as we bring our awareness here, we find that the awareness is more and more on our chakras and on our center than anywhere else. And we ask our conscious mind and our unconscious mind to just take a nice little break for a moment and just relax while we feel the energy moving through our physical being, and we feel the particles that our being is made up of, dancing, leaping, skipping, super happy that we've brought our awareness to the particles and the cellular level, the molecular level, becoming aware of all this in our physical body. And as we breathe in and out, continue that nice deep breathing very slowly. We feel these particles of energy charged up. We feel the particles of the cells excited and happy, creating balance within our physical body. We feel our cells as they renew, being brought into the now of us and releasing old concepts and old habits. And we feel them lighter and happier, more clear and harmonious with one another. And as they become this clear, harmonious, loving little cell, right, we feel them just dancing around our physical body, helping to heal our organs, helping to heal our our every single system. Our bones are stronger, our minds are clearer, our eyes see better. Everything is working more harmoniously. And as we bring our awareness now to our skeletal system, we feel our bones. We feel them nice and healthy, strong. Any imperfections or disharmonies being smoothed out by these beautiful cells that are doing such a good job. And we feel this system working well with all the other systems. Our beautiful skeleton holding us up in this physical body, carrying the weight of our physical being, and doing so with grace and ease. And then we bring our attention to the organs in our body, and we feel love for all the different organs in our body, our heart, our liver, our gallbladder, our spleen, our brain, our lovely, lovely brain really works so hard. And when do we stop to say thank you, brain? So for the moment, just be there with your brain and just see that beautiful organ happy, joyful, pulsating with this excitement that it's finally being acknowledged, and this is all part of you. And then bring it down to your heart and just feel your heart dancing with joy that you're stopping to say, I love you. Stopping to say thank you for every little beat. And stopping to say, please allow things to move smoothly through you. Please allow anything that is causing disharmony to just pass on through and be disintegrated and taken care of by the rest of the body, because, heart, I love you. And then come down to your liver, and we do the same thing with our liver. We bring grace and joy to our liver. We understand that it's the filter of our whole system, and it holds on to the energy of anger and toxins and frustration and irritation. It holds on to that energy so it doesn't move through the rest of our being. And so we stop and we let our liver know that we appreciate it. We appreciate all it does, and we ask it now to just allow Archangel Daniel to come in and just release all of that anger and all the tension, everything that it's been holding on to, all of the toxins, anything that doesn't serve us. We just ask the liver to go ahead and let that go with the Archangel that comes in to remove that. And we thank the Archangel for coming in and helping to relieve all that tension that we've been hanging on to through our liver. And then we want to acknowledge the other organs in our body, our kidneys. They do so much work, and we rarely ever stop during the day and say, wow, thank you, kidneys, for everything that you do. So we're just going to acknowledge our kidneys and say thank you and just send them a little love, because that's probably not a very nice job they have, but they do it, and they do it with flair. So we're going to, on a cellular, emotional, and spiritual level, say thank you to our kidneys. And again, breathing deeply and just feeling the joy of understanding and relating to each part of our body. And then we're going to come down to the intestinal region and just really send it some love, Send it some understanding and compassion and gratitude for all that it does. No judgments, just the harmonious gratitude and love for everything that your intestinal tract does. And we don't have to go into the logistics of it. Just, I love you, intestines. Thank you for everything you do. And now that we've kind of covered most of our body, we want to do a blanket thank you to everyone that we haven't mentioned, just like they do on the Oscars. And we're just going to do a quick scan of our body without thinking about it and just send love and energy and allow those cells and particles to be dancing and happy and enjoying everybody and everything that they touch. And we feel it all the way down our legs and down to our feet, just all of the energy moving through and waking our bodies up. And we feel it move down to Mother Earth, and we love her so much. Sometimes we forget to say it, but we do. And without her, what would we do, right? We wouldn't be here. Our whole physical body comes from earthly components. So we want to send that love down to Mother Earth and just share this excitement and this joy of this day with her, and send this love and compassion and hope for grace and ease through her day, and allow it to just move all the way through Mother Earth And you don't have to think too much about it. Just allow it to move through her in whatever direction it goes to, all the way down to the core, which is like her heartbeat, and then just see it moving and growing and expanding with the love that she takes and adds to this feeling that we've sent down to her. And we see it expand back out through the entire earth. We see bits of it come back up to us so that we're not overwhelmed with this beautiful love that she shares. She's very powerful. And so we feel that re-energizing us as she shares back with us. And we allow this energy to move through us up to our heart center and just really embracing the feeling of Mother Earth and allowing that energy to move back and forth with her to and from our heart center to hers, and allow it to pulsate almost like a heartbeat, and just feeling that connection and feeling that love and embracing the energy that we have with Mother Earth while we're here. And then we allow that energy to move out to the heavens, to the universe, to wherever it is that we come from in the highest states of consciousness as energetic beings. And we just allow that energy to pulsate out almost like a cell phone tower or something. We just allow that energy to move up through our crown chakra and out into the ethers, and just sending love and grace and ease, compassion, harmony, clarity to everything. Just everything, everywhere. And as it moves through the lower states of consciousness up into the higher states, we send a little more clarity, and we send a little harmony, and we just know that there is perfection to be had should people choose it. And we decide if we choose it at this point. What do we want to align ourselves with? And we ask our angels to come in close and assist us with this, aligning with those states of consciousness out there in the ethers that best fit us. You don't have to think about it. Just allow it to happen. And as we see ourselves now from a distance, we see that we're just radiating and pulsating this beautiful love and clarity and harmony throughout the universe, throughout the planet, and we just become one with all things. And we see ourselves as just this little middle person between the earth and the heavens, and we allow this energy to move through us with love, with clarity, with harmony and gratitude, and stop and just see and feel this experience when you are one with all things in the most perfect aspect. And stay in this moment for just a few minutes and just breathe and experience this beautiful exchange of energy through the earth and the heavens, moving back and forth through your center, clearing, energizing, and harmonizing your being with the very highest that the two have to offer, the very highest states of consciousness of the universe and the very highest vibrations of Mother Earth. And just breathe into this experience. And you may feel as if there are roots from your energy growing down into Mother Earth, and this is a really beautiful thing. Allow this to happen. Really becoming one with the planet that you walk on and live with and are a part of. You are a child of Mother Earth, as your physical body comes from her, and all of the elements of your physical are from the earth. So just like you came from your physical mother, you also came from the earth, and she truly is your mother. And we begin to really allow this feeling to come through without thinking about it, just allowing and feeling that love back and forth and that oneness with her. And then we bring our attention up to the heavens, and we realize that this is where our energetic being comes from that moves through our physical body. And we feel our home way, way, way up. We feel it way up there, and it's just expressing its love for us as it moves its energy down our silver cord and in through our crown chakra and pulsating through our body down into Mother Earth. And we just allow this beautiful exchange of energy to come from the heavens and the earth. They come together within us. And we are a child of Father Sky and Mother Earth. And all of the beings, whether they're plant, animal, or person, molecules, air, it doesn't matter. Everything that's around us are our brothers and sisters. We're one with these because we all come from Mother Earth and Father Sky. And so we breathe into this and we allow this beautiful, harmonious exchange. And as we breathe out, we feel that expansion and that oneness. We breathe in the love of all that's around us, from the heavens and the earth, and we breathe out our love for that which is shared with us. And embracing this feeling, we allow ourselves to see back in time without thinking, just allowing ourselves to see back in time, and we just lend this experience, this feeling, to everything that's ever happened in the past, adding to the good, remedying what we perceived as bad. And then as we allow this to move through the past, we then come back to center. And we take some more cleansing breaths, and we allow Father Sky and Mother Earth to move through us. And we see all of the future in front of us, all of the side paths, all of the different people that will encounter us in our path. And we don't have to logically know what these are. We just get the feeling of the vibration of the coming and the going. And we just allow this beautiful oneness to move through all those different paths that we're seeing. It's almost like a circulatory system of energy that moves through our lives and through our future and through our past. And so we just send this beautiful energy out to everything that we may ever encounter in the future, to all of the people that we may encounter, knowing that we can have the highest and greatest exchange with them. Allowing things to move with grace and ease, allowing our finances to be fulfilled with grace and ease, allowing opportunities to come our way and the wisdom to know when to take them, allowing the right people to come into our paths. And when we send this energy out to the different many paths of our future, it's almost like we're encouraging the right people to come to us that will harmonize with this state of consciousness that we're in, this beautiful, harmonious place, so that we attract the most harmonious experiences. And now we'll just bring our attention back to our heart center, and we say thank you to all that we've ever experienced, and thank you to all that we ever will experience. And we come back to our center being, and we feel that beautiful energy moving through us, and we feel our heart center. We feel our solar plexus, our sacral chakra, just beneath our belly button. We feel our root chakra down at the very base of our spine. And we breathe into all of these chakras. We feel our earth star chakra 8 inches below our feet. We feel all of these chakras being empowered as we breathe into it. And then we feel our throat chakra, our third eye, our crown chakra, tingling and dancing with the energy of the universe that moves through them with every breath that we take. As we breathe physically, we also breathe energetically through our crown chakra. I don't know if you knew that, but so as you take the nice deep breaths, you're also breathing deeply in through your crown chakra and bringing that harmonious source from the universe in. And so we feel all of our beautiful chakras dancing and happy for the day, ready to guide us to all of the beautiful experiences we can have today, and sending healing energy to the different places on Earth and in the universe that perhaps need it. And we also become aware of our soul star. This is about 8 inches above our head. And this is actually another chakra not many people know about, at least in mainstream. And so as we breathe deeply, we see our soul star beautifully activated above our head. And knowing that that really ties in our consciousness and our connection with the universe. We say thank you to our soul star. Bring your awareness now down into your heart chakra so that you're gathering it from all the different chakra areas and just bringing the awareness into your heart. Nice deep breath. And feel the love you have for yourself. You are amazing. Everything that you've ever encountered, everything that you've ever experienced, your hopes, your dreams, your fears or perceived fears, and the way that you'll overcome them, everything about you is truly amazing. And so just take this moment to really see yourself in that light and say thank you to yourself for everything that you've done up until now and everything that you will do in the future. And really become one with yourself as well. See the beauty within you. And now, as you're ready, take some nice, deep, cleansing breaths. Become aware of your physical being and allow your conscious mind and unconscious mind to join the party again. And ask them to come be a balanced part of your day. And feel yourself becoming physically whole again for this earth that we walk upon, in this world that we live within. And when you're ready, again, a nice deep breath, and open your eyes. Okay. So I hope that was as good for you as it was for me. I woke up late today, and so this was actually my morning meditation as well, and I thank you for sharing it with me. So if you're headed out after the meditation, I hope you have a fabulous day, and if you're going to remain with us for the next half hour or so, our topic is all about what reality are we choosing when we choose which media we partake of. It's really just, when you think about it, it's really kind of like when I was a little girl, right? Because I'm old, okay? So when I was a little girl, we still had the circuses with the tents that would come set up at the schoolyards or the parks in the community, that kind of thing. And there'd be all these different tents, And so like there was the main ring, the one with the big tent, right? The big tent, yeah. And then there'd be these other tents with like sideshow stuff or magic tricks and I guess I really didn't make the connection until just this second. So that's kind of funny. But, the main big tent is kind of like the mainstream media, right? The Fox TV and the regular movies and TV shows that they just mercifully hawk and advertise, and just they're really directing the masses at that big tent, right? The 3-ring circus thing that they have going on. And just like a circus, they decide what's going to be on there. And so they decide what it is that you're going to be tuning into. And they tell you that this is what people want to hear because it must be, right? Because all of the mainstream sources, this is what they're talking about. When really they're deciding, and it's not even them deciding, somebody else is deciding for them what it is they're going to report on, what the TV shows are going to be about, that kind of thing. And so you've got, seriously, if you think back even 20 years, the fact that we have all these forensic shows and we have all of this horribly violent crime and all of this just crazy chaos that is like the focus. If you look back 20 years, that was not the case. And so I have to ask why, because I really stay out of the mainstream media. So I have a different perspective because I'm not caught up in it. But why are they driving everybody to this 3-ring circus? Why is that what they have going on under the big tent, right? Because just like in a circus, they decide what you're going to watch, right? And so they may have the other tents off to the side. Oh, God, I love this analogy. This is so much fun. Okay, so why are they putting these things under the big top, right? Is it because people have said this is what we want to watch, really? At some point, did people write in and go, wow, we want to see these very realistic forensic shows and these We want to see movies about serial killers, and, we really want this to be our reality, because when we get when we get home from a hard day's work, this is what we want to do with our time. Is this really what people wrote in and said, hey, mainstream media, this is what we really want to see? Or did it gradually become this way to almost desensitize the masses? As an outside participant of our society, which is kind of what I feel like sometimes, like I really have to wonder, like, what are they desensitizing you guys to? And I say you guys because I have zero part in it. I don't participate. I have cable to watch Big Bang Theory. That's it. So it really is a different perspective that I have. And so then we have the other little side tents. We have the GMO and Monsanto stuff, and we have the debate on whether there are UFOs or not, and we have the weather manipulation, and these are things from my world, right? So that I see a lot of. And so these are the little side tents that I see. I'm sure that in other worlds, in other realities, there are other little side tents, right? And so I have to ask everybody who's listening, right? What tent are you choosing to go in? Because you can choose not to go into that big top and see all that craziness that they're deciding ought to be your reality. Because, in fact, isn't reality just whatever you choose to buy into, right? So, so yes, there are people out there doing hideous things. But you know what? There have always been people out there doing hideous things. The thing is that as we put more of this out into the mainstream market, we're telling kids, we're telling people, this is what we want as our norm, okay? People are paying, seriously? Okay. Holy cow. Don't even get me started on this one. I'm only a cup into my coffee. The Purge, right? I don't even want to lend energy to it. And I really thought about, am I even going to discuss it on this show? Because I don't want to lend energy to it. But this movie coming out, The Purge, among other ones, right? But this one really just blew my mind. Like, it made me want to just pack up and leave society because this is not what I'm living in, right? People are going to pay to see a movie about when all crime is allowed for a night, and they're going to go into the hardcore violence of it and the craziness and the chaos in this movie, and this is what people are choosing to do for entertainment, right? So you really need to think about the movies that you choose to go see, because what you're in fact saying, and I know people will think I'm crazy, but it's true. This is the way that it is. This is the way that it's seen. The movies and TV shows that you choose to participate in, and that's what you're doing when you go see them. You are participating in them. You're not watching them, because they create an energy field, and you are participating in that energy field. You're not just watching as a third party. So the things that we choose to participate in are basically what we're voting for, right? And those are votes that count, unlike the president election. It's and that's just a whole nother show. But the TV shows and the movies that, that we go to watch and participate in, we're voting. We're saying this is what we would like the world to be like. And you can say that, no, that's not true all you want. That it's like, I hear people say, oh, it's like a roller coaster. It's, it's just like a ride that you take. But that's no longer the case. If you watch the history between what movies and TV shows have done and what our world has done, it's very, very much hand in hand. And we are, in fact, telling our kids, our teenagers, the whole culture, that this is what is okay with us. This is what we're choosing to see in life. We're paying money to say that this is what we want in life, right? And so I think that it's become, for a lot of people, it's just become what you do. And by the way, books count in this, right? I was speaking to a friend of mine who was actually one of my spiritual teachers, and God help me if she listens to this show, because I'll get my tuchus whooped. But I was really shocked, because we're talking, and granted, she's not been in the spiritual teachings for a long time. She's kind of a mainstream citizen now, just living her cause, but not really teaching. And so she's talking to me about reading 50 Shades of Grey. And although I haven't read the book, I've heard, obviously, that's just not something I would spend my time doing, but I've heard a lot about it. And I got to say, I was speechless. I literally couldn't speak. I couldn't believe that my spiritual teacher was paying for, was spending her time on, was lending energy to something that was so off balance, in my opinion. As a spiritual teacher, as the walk that we walk, it's off balance compared to what she had always taught me. And so I was a little shocked to see. And then, but then I look and I see that she's also gotten pulled into the TV shows and the movies and the things that I'm a little surprised to see her lending energy to. And what we need to understand is that this is, in fact, what you're lending energy to. Everything that you read, everything that you watch, every news article, everything, whether it's entertainment or, quote, news, right? It's all one and the same, by the way, right? But everything that you lend energy to, you are, in fact, saying, this is what I would like to have happen. And this is the story that I choose to believe, okay? It's not even, it is that this is what I would like to have happen because this is what I'm lending energy to, but it's also, this is the story I choose to believe. A lot of you who know me know that I work with off-world beings, and they are the ones that I work with, at least. It's a huge council, and they're very enlightened, and they're really wanting to help us raise our consciousness, okay? And they're beautiful beings. And then I go to watch the Great and Powerful Oz, right? First movie I've seen in probably 5 years, 6 years, I don't know. I never go into movies. And so I go in, and every trailer for the movies that were coming were all about aliens wanting to eat people or kill people, or this horrible, horrible things about aliens. And as an outside observer to our planet and our culture, like sometimes that's how I feel, right? I'm looking, thinking, oh my God, what are they preparing people for? Like, do you not understand that these are manipulative tactics to prepare you for something? They're driving the herd. It's like a cattle, what do you call it? Oh God, see, this is where I'm missing my sidekick, Jessica. So like when they're herding cattle, right? And a cattle drive, that's it. It's like a cattle drive. So they're heading the people in the directions that they want to see them go. You can't describe it any other way. And so it's really a little shocking to me that every trailer for movies that were coming were about aliens that were going to eat you or kill you, do hideous things to you. And I'm thinking, okay, but I know a lot of these people. I know a lot of these off-world beings, and that's not at all what they're about. And yes, I'm sure there are some that maybe are not so enlightened, but one, yes, they're real, and two, it's ridiculous what I'm seeing. So in our media, I'm seeing that they are completely driving the masses like cattle to the things that they want you to see. And so we have to step back and go, okay, what are you preparing us for? What are you mentally manipulating us for? Right? And that goes for the news, the movies, the books, the TV shows, all of it. We're being desensitized as a culture, and we're being manipulated through fear and through drama in a lot of cases, and we're allowing it. Not only are we allowing it, but we're actually stepping up and going, could I please pay you money for this, right? It's insane. It's insane. I don't know if people understand how insane it is, but, we just lost a caller. So when we come to a spiritual aspect of this, right, and this is, remember, the show is called The Light of Truth, and so we're shining the light on stuff, whether people like it or not. So when it comes to these things, the media, meaning the news, the TV shows, the movies, the books, any of it, it's important for us to realize that we decide what we're going to lend energy to. We decide what we think is true and what we don't think is true. And so I would ask people, as we're in this time of raising consciousness, when you make choices about what you're going to read, what you're going to stay informed on, what you're going to buy into as far as the circus tents go, right? Because that's all it really is. It's just a big circus. They call it a media circus for a reason. As you decide which things you're going to enter into, really stop and understand that just because mainstream culture is buying into something doesn't mean you have to. We're in a time of change. We're in a time when our culture can shift to a different level. And so perhaps looking at things in a different light or making different choices. If for instance, there are plenty of news sources. If people want to stay informed, there are plenty of news sources that are not mainstream news sources. They don't go into the trials of whatever the media has decided to blow today, right? And again, part of this was inspired by I think it's Trayvon something, I don't know, in Sanford. And when that first happened, there was all kinds of just craziness in Sanford, and you've got Jesse Jackson there, and you've got Al Sharpton, and because they're turning it into a race riot, okay? It was person to person, not race riot. Everything is person to person, okay? The racial thing comes into it only because we decide that that's what's there, right? So instead of really gathering any facts or really understanding what's happening or even deciding, do I need to? There are lots of situations like this one that occur all over our country, all over the world. But for whatever reason, they chose to make a thing out of this particular trial in Sanford. And Sanford already has enough issues with race problems, okay? So to take this and really fuel that fire that was already there in Sanford that was trying to be overcome by people with love and compassion, they really are fueling the fire just for media hype. I used to have a healer in Florida that I went to for about 20 years, and can I just say, Dr. Taerie, I miss you for all the world to hear, because he's not in Arizona, and wow, do I miss him. But he used to, anytime something like this would come up, or the bird flu, swine flu, whatever, any of those things, he'd stop and go, okay, but maybe now it's time to look and see what they really don't want you to see, because it's like that whole Wag the Dog, the movie Wag the Dog, is really pretty impressive at showing how that happens. It's like, okay, we have this going on over here, but we really don't want people to see that, so they flare up some ridiculous news story that isn't even a thing when you actually look at it, but they've got it so hyped up that that's where everybody's attention is going. And so they're able to do whatever over with this other hand, smoke and mirrors, and so people don't stop to look and see what's actually happening. In most cases, people don't stop to look and see what's actually happening. Okay, so we've got this trial in Sanford going on. There's all kinds of crazy chaos with it. What do they not want us to look at? Why are they flaring this up, right? As far as the media goes, and, the thing is the media is sort of controlled by other people. So they feed them these stories. They tell them. Somebody has to tell them where the story is, right? And so they go with it, whatever, and we could get into how that works another time. But as individuals, we have the ability to go, okay, yes, I want to tune into that, or no, I really don't see that I need to spend my time getting all hyped up over this one thing, when that same thing happens day in and day out all over the country, all over the world. But nobody's making a big deal about these other things, right? And it's not like the big deal is being made over this one because somebody wants to help. It's just fueling a fire. And so as conscious individuals, we can step out of the big top, right, out of the three-ring circus and go, okay, but what do I really want to focus on? Is this important, or do I want to focus on other things going on in the world, right? Heck, you could just focus on news of dog rescue stuff, and that could become your reality, because we can only focus on so many things at once, right? And so are you consciously, I guess that's my question to people, are you consciously deciding what media you're going to pursue, right? Because that's what we do. We turn it on and we look for it, right? It's just mainstream media makes it very simple for us not to have to look too hard. Are we going to look for things that actually make a difference? Are we going to look for things that harmonize with what we would like to see as reality? Are we just going to look where they tell us to look? And that's okay if that's what you choose to do, but then understand that you're handing over what you would like reality to be to somebody else, right? So, excuse me. So, as conscious spiritual beings, is it not wise for us to just stop maybe once or twice a day, or before we turn on the TV, or before we pick something up to read? Is it not wise for us just to stop and decide, is this something I want to lend my energy to? Because every time you lend your energy to something, you're essentially voting for it, right? And although when you pull your energy away, it may not be a vote against, but it's certainly not a vote for, right? So it's much like the elections, you know. You really are voting for something every time you lend energy to it. And I don't know that people have gotten the point of how forceful that is when you start choosing consciously what you're going to lend energy to, and when you start seeing things that way. Because if people were lending energy to the more positive things, right? Instead of watching something or a movie about something destructive, could we not shift our attention to something productive or something harmonious or something loving or healing? Or, you know, we can choose. And making excuses really doesn't work anymore, you know. So like I know people who, they may watch news and they may watch TV shows or read books or, you know, but I get the point of, you know, if this hadn't happened, you know, this healing process, whatever it may be, that, I mean, you know the drill, right? So I'm watching this horribly hideous thing on TV, not me, but whoever's talking, and what I'm getting out of it is that if this person, you know, had listened to their gut, they wouldn't have ended up in this situation. Well, that's fine, except that you probably already knew that. And so really that's probably just an excuse. Really look at what is the reason that you're looking at these different situations, right? Why are you voting for these different sources of media? And understand that every time you lend energy, you're saying, this is what I would like. I would like more of this, please. And so as long as you're consciously making that decision, if you continue to look at the mainstream media and continue to, whatever that may be, whatever source that may be, then that's fine because you've consciously made that decision. I believe that as an outside participant to our culture, I really believe that people are unknowingly just being driven like cattle to who knows what. I know that we're being desensitized. I know that hopes and dreams are being squashed. I know that there's an element of fear being built up in the masses by these different movies and media things. I know that that not all of it is true, you know, and I know that people are believing pretty much whatever they're told because they're told it by a source that they've come to, I'm going to say trust, because they think they've come to trust it, but in fact it's just that they've come not to question it. There's a big difference. There's a shift happening in our society, right? And people need to understand that there is a huge difference between trusting a source and simply having been conditioned not to question that source. And I really think that that's what's happening in our society in America. I don't know about other countries because this is where I'm at, right? But it's not so much that our media sources are trusted anymore. It's that we're not questioning them anymore for whatever reason. And maybe that's part of building the fear and building the concern about, you know, mass destruction, right? So, you know, and again, then we come back to the movies with all the mass destruction and the end of the world and this and that. And why would you do that? Why? I don't understand it. Why? Sometimes somebody explain it to me. Maybe if I decide to lend energy to understanding it. So today's show, okay, so we're with a little over 14 minutes now. So today's show is designed to hopefully have you question what you're deciding to stay informed on, helping you to understand that every time you say, yes, I'd like to watch this show, yes, I'd like to see that movie, yes, I'll listen to this news anchor, you're voting for whatever that is. You're voting for more of it. You're saying, this is what I want as my reality. Whether you know it or not, that's what you're saying. And so helping people become aware, right? So, and then also, we're fueling the fire of the media by saying this is what we want. And then they're fueling the fire within us because we already have these concepts and ideas of fear, anger, tension, or what if, and so they're fueling that fire with the things that they're feeding back to us. And then we listen to them more. So it's this back and forth energizing of one another, but what are we energizing, right? So in the world that I live in, my perception of reality is in a world where not many people listen to the news, and I don't think any of us ever see any of those movies that are like mass destruction, It's just not our reality. It's just not what we lend energy to. And so really it's kind of neat because what we lend energy to is we go take different healing classes. And I know, I get it. That's okay. I could be worse things. But lending energy to how do we create more money in our lives to be able to do more good with? How, what are the different projects that we can do that will help bring beauty into the world? So this is what we stay informed on. This is the kind of stuff that we lend energy to in my little world. And so it's just a different tent of the circus that we've chosen to walk into, that we're lending our energy and our business to. But we consciously have chosen it, I think, because you have to consciously choose that because the mass media, the mass stuff is driving you into that three-ring circus tent. And so I think if you choose anything other than that, it's really a conscious decision. You have to stop outside the door of the tents, really get this image in your head, stop outside the door of the tents and go, which tent do I want to walk into? Which reality do I want to lend energy to? And allow yourself to choose the state of consciousness that you want to align with, because that's exactly what you're doing. We did the show on death yesterday, and the reality is that you just drop the body and your state of consciousness stays the same. So if you're caught up in the three-ring circus of the mass media and the doom and despair and destruction and that kind of thing, when you drop the body, that's where your state of consciousness is. That's what you see reality as. Whereas if you are choosing some other areas of things to focus on and stay informed on that maybe are of a higher vibration, right, of a more enlightened state of consciousness, and that's not judgmental, okay? I'm not meaning that to come across as snotty or judgmental. It just is a fact that certain things hold certain vibrations and certain things hold a nicer, higher vibration. Okay, so I'm going to pull Daniel over and...
Good morning. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, I'm sorry. My reception got kind of weird there just for a second, but it's back now. Yes, I can hear you. I wanted to just make a couple quick comments on the topic of the show today. Very, very good topic, by the way, as was yesterday's. And one thing I wanted to point out is something that you've said several times during the course of the show, and that's since we're in such a big time of change right now, that the whole dynamics of what we've come to understand as society for many, many, many years, like for the entire time that I've been alive and probably many other people, is it's shifting. And with that, unfortunately, a lot of people, well, actually, when it comes down to it, a fairly small handful proportionately in regards to the number of people who have a great deal of influence or power, or whatever you want to call it, against the entire world's population, are very threatened by the change, because they've got
right.
such a vested interest in basically controlling the way things are and kind of maintaining the status quo, so to speak.
Right.
That I think they're motivated by fear of losing the immense power and wealth and everything that they've attained, and really with the truth coming to light, because we're so connected. I mean, we're
the light of
just I know. I just caught that pun after you started to chuckle. Yeah, and it's very, very true, at least the way I see it, because we're so connected. It's very difficult for anything to happen in the world right now where somebody who wants to find out about it can't find out about it via mainly the internet. And with that, I think it all comes down to basically just the fear of those who are in power of what things are going to be like. And I think through their fear, they realize that, how much that's controlling them if that fear is spread out into the general populace. That the general populace
well, and maybe that's why maybe that's why such a huge difference, because, like I said, I hadn't been to a movie in 5 or 6 years, right? And I went to see this Great and Powerful Oz, which also, wow, massive political. Okay, hello. Are you there? Hello.
I am here. I'm so
I went
sorry.
Far away.
Yes,
I totally got disconnected.
I've got a bad connection here for some reason. I don't know. It says full bars on my phone, but it just started being very, very bizarre. So I totally missed everything that you just said from the start of the Great and Powerful Oz on the massive political connection.
That's because I just got totally disconnected. So it dropped my call, so I just called back in. So what I was saying was that when I went to see the Great and Powerful Oz, which was a massive political statement, we could probably do a whole show on that one movie. But when I went to see it, the movie trailers were hideous. Like, I had every single movie trailer in there was as violent. Even the Disney thing was violent. And so referring back to what you were saying about the sort of the powers that be maybe running a little scared, I have to wonder if that's why they're pushing this real fear-based. Because if you look at every movie out there, everything is very fear-based. And then, if it was a different show, we could even get into all the news stories that are not real, and how they build fear. There's people go ahead and just kind of, I won't get into it on my show because it's not the kind of show I want to necessarily be, but just kind of Google false flag and see what comes up, and and do your own research. But I think you're right, Daniel. I think that there probably is, a sense of, holy crap, maybe this higher consciousness thing is beginning to win out, and people are becoming more educated. And so the Internet, they're really trying to crack down on the Internet to not allow as much to go on through the Internet, and so far they haven't been able to do it. But people, if you want to stay informed on something like that, because that affects you, that affects your world. And it is true that they are kind of trying to crack down on the amount of information that is able to be passed through the Internet and really begin controlling the Internet. And you have to wonder why, right? I think you're probably right that maybe that's a big source of what's happening with the fear from, there's, what is it, the Bilderberg? Is it Bilderberg?
All kinds of families, like apparently.
Well, I mean, just that one camp.
Group or the family?
The group is actually doing their thing currently, I think, or at least they recently were having that, the big C and whatnot, and And so I think there's so much going on that people could stay informed about that matters, right? So go ahead and Google that too, people, and find out some of the stuff that's really going on that may really influence your life. I mean, something happening in 3 states a day that doesn't really impact your life, but it's good TV watching, right? It's maybe that's not where your energy needs to go. Maybe it needs to go if you want to stay informed. If you're one of those people who says, I want to stay informed, then stay informed, but don't follow the crowd into the slaughterhouse, right? Stop and look around and see what it is that they're not wanting you to look at by driving you into that big 3-ring circus tent. I know. What do you think about that whole circus thing, Daniel? That was funny. That just came to me as I was talking.
I think it's awesome, and one of my favorite, I guess, semi-recent movies that I've seen was Madagascar 3, and as you were saying that, talking about the circus, I actually got kind of the polar opposite in my mind with a cute little animated Afro circus thing going on. So anyway, it's totally true.
I love that's where your energy goes. I love that.
The analogy's perfect, and for me, my circus actually happened to be Madagascar 3. But
that's great.
I'm sorry.
Of course.
It was just wonderful. I'm not sure if you're running low on time, but I did want to mention 2 really quick things.
Okay, we have about 2 minutes, so you're probably good.
Well, very awesome. First and foremost, there's the saying, as above, so below, which basically, to me, it, as you were saying, how things go hand in hand. The top of the pyramid, so to speak, for lack of a better term, and am I able to say a word either very small?
Quickly, yes.
Okay. Basically, they're running shitless. They're
right.
scared shitless, and that's kind of what they're trying to send out to everybody else.
I think that's a technical term anyway.
Oh, okay. Very cool, very cool. I try to refrain from those unless it's just for emphasis or something of that nature.
Right.
But secondly, kind of to sum everything up, I think there's a lot of ignorance there too. And really, if the powers that be, being all enlightened and influential and all that stuff, if they just took a step back and realized it, if everything went smoothly and we all elevated into this higher state of consciousness, it's not like they lose. I mean, unless their energy is just so in line with this nasty ick that they simply can't fathom anything else. If we all win, and they're including all. So basically, if we all evolve, then they're coming along too. It's not like they're going to have less or be less or anything like that. So
well,
anyway,
and I think that's an excellent point. That's an excellent point. And so I think they ought to listen to you because I'm sure they're all listening to my show.
I was going to say that I bit my tongue.
We have about 30 seconds left, so I'm just going to hopelessly or mercilessly or whatever plug myself because it's my show. So mysticaltruth.com, 12weekcoaching.com. I do all kinds of psychic services, life coaching, entity removal, all kinds of different things, energy clearing, and so I hope you will call me. Daniel, it's been fabulous talking to you. You were my only caller that stuck with me. We alienated a couple of people, so that's okay. That's good. Shine in the light, baby. All right, so we are out of time. Have a fabulous day.